Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to another dumbass podcast. It's your boy Germ Life. Sitting here with my boy Capo. About to get into it. Introduce yourself, brother.
29.
You know what I'm saying? And for the audience right now, we're just trying to get everybody to know that we started this podcast based off of, we want to have fun, get some entertainment in here, but get some positivity and some realization of the stuff that we need to straighten up about ourselves and the community of black people.
I don't I don't like black people.
Okay.
So
But indigenous people.
No. I'm gonna give a perspective. Outside of being a black person.
Okay, that's cool. Elaborate.
I'm gonna step outside of the black community and assess looking at the black community.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
No, it makes sense because you're stepping outside of the realm of the regular black eye and see what you see that's messed up, right?
Yeah, and then when I say I don't like black people, it's the ways. It's the ways and it's the actions. Because ultimately, that's kind of what leads to separation, division. And in order to build anything, you need to come together.
Right.
You need to come together.
So even with that, right? Because even with black as the word black, it don't identify with anything. So I understand about you want to step outside of that. So even though that we live with that now, what would you think is the actual problem with people as an individual? Now, me personally, what I think is everybody want to be the boss. And it's surface boss. They don't really be a boss like somebody that don't, looking for the cloud or looking for the fame. You don't even know who they is most of the time. Like if you take Slim, for example, from Cash Money. Like these young kids probably ain't never even seen Slim.
Right.
A lot of people don't even understand how to be a boss, but they want to be one, which makes no sense. Like, the surface person that's on the top, yeah, they look like they got everything and this, that, and third. But if you look at it, actually, the person that, like, even when Kanye just was complaining about the Jews, we don't know how now one of them look. We don't even know their names.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, who is actually the boss?
I'm going to speak for myself. And I'm going to say what my problem is and how that may contribute to the problem as far as like if I'm going to be associated and affiliated with the black community.
Okay.
And it kind of got a little bit to do with being the boss, kind of not being told what to do. And I think this is more of a personality thing for me. So, based on my experience, like if I've done something or been through something, I'm not gonna allow anybody to tell me how to do anything particular to a situation I've experienced for myself.
Okay.
Now, this is where I think you can correlate that to what you said. Now, if you haven't had any experience with X, Y, and Z, then you're not capable of leading.
Right.
Not in that aspect. Not in the aspect of what you don't have experience in. You have to have experience in order to lead.
And I agree with that. I definitely agree with what you're saying. But in order to have experience, you have to be a follower first, don't you think?
Yeah.
So you got to go through the bullshit. And that's what people don't want to realize. You got to go through the bullshit first before you claim this title.
And it's a lot of bullshit that you got to go through.
Man, a lot of losses. People don't even think about that.
Yeah.
A lot of times they just look at what they doing right now. They ain't know about none of the time that they lost all that money or been in jail for any of that time that they lost. So it's like people gotta start, or time that they lost, researching what they had to do to get famous.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I look at it that way. And another thing is pocket watching for me, because even if you the high man, right? You got $100 million. We just throw our money out there.
I might.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So look, if I got $10 million, but I live the life that I want to live and I'm comfortable, what is the reason for me to be mad at you for having more than me? Because I'm comfortable. Because we made the money together, regardless of what position I played in it, right?
Yeah, and I think in the aspect of looking at it from a person that's watching somebody's pockets is more so got to do with self, like insecurities with whatever it is you got going on that will make you even look at somebody else to be like, damn, why I don't have that, and to look at that shit like, why do they have it?
In an envious way, right?
Because it's like you feel like you don't deserve that. For you to look at somebody else and say that you should have it or they shouldn't have it is saying, nigga, you pretty much don't deserve it. And even if you had it, you wouldn't know what to do with it because of how you looking at something like that.
Exactly. I agree with that, because you have to really, really realize even if you had it, you'll know exactly what you're gonna do with it. You might mess that shit the hell up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But for them to even have that feeling about another person is the problem. Right. You know what I'm saying? That means you take it too much in that you should be practicing on yourself to get better, to get to that point, to get
see
them
the wrong feelings. And you said it, you was like, the feeling, they shouldn't be feeling like that. Like those are the wrong kind of, and then it's to be in the feeling and then to act on the feeling.
Exactly, to act on the feeling. That's the very important thing you said, is act on the feeling. Cause like, especially a man, bro, like think about it. How you gonna be mad at this guy for having a little bit more than you, and then you act on it? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's almost like you acting like a jealous girl fight.
Right, and then you act on it, and then you not even doing nothing to help yourself get more. That's what I'm saying. You got to start with a different type of mentality when you even thinking about why you don't have what it is that you don't have.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let me ask you this. Perfect example. We're going to talk about the takeoff stuff. I know everybody been talking about that. Now,
yeah, rest in peace, Takeoff, man. Condolences to his family and shit like that, and friends.
Word. So, if you had to judge that situation off of what you have got off them, off the media, pretty much all of us got off, what would you say was the underlying issue of that problem that they had? Far as, we ain't talking about the personal problem that they had, like why they fell out. What was the personal problem that you feel like?
You talking about with that situation?
Yeah, definitely with the situation, because people gonna say what they want, bro. Mm-hmm. People fall out for anything, but what do you actually think made it escalate to this man dying?
Miscommunication. It's always miscommunication, and I'm smiling because it's such a simple, like, solution, like, to just listen. Like, to just listen. When miscommunication come in, it's like misunderstanding. So it's like you kind of got to do more listening when you don't understand. Like, people be getting scared of stuff that they don't know and that they don't understand. So you kind of have to sit back and relax. Again, it kind of goes with experience. I feel like somebody that's experienced is not going to even do a lot of talking.
Yep, you're right. I agree with you on that.
So when a person who don't talk a lot start talking, it's kind of like you have to listen, because it's a reason that they're not talking, and then when they do talk, it's a reason for them talking. Mm-hmm. So just miscommunication, man, and then like overreacting based on them emotions with probably stuff that they just didn't understand.
Mm-hmm. Now, see, me, I would probably just think it's like, you know, there's money involved, everybody famous and everything like that, and then the ego gets stroked. See, when you deal with your ego, it's almost like you're dealing with like a prideful feeling. So a prideful feeling to make you not be embarrassed in front of people. You know what I mean? So, but if you look at it in hindsight, would you rather been embarrassed in front of a couple of people that we would have never known about? Because we would have never known about that if y'all had a little curse out of all that shit. It might have been on video or whatever, but that shit have went bad fast. But if nobody would have never died, you see what I'm saying?
And then everything is like being filmed and stuff. Everything is being
Yeah.
recorded these days. So it's kind of like instant. The moment somebody kind of feel played, it's like instant. It's like everybody finna see this right now.
Right now.
So it's not like how we was when we was growing up and something happened, and like for instance, like when we went to school, something happened at school, and depending on who you was, you didn't hear for it for about a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Like, oh damn, such and such happened. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't in tune like that.
And what crowd you was in at the time, yeah.
Right. So the shit just like we in a different time, man. We in a different time. So being in a different time with shit being different, you have to think different. You have to do shit different. You have to think different. And it's really the same stuff that people was preaching to us when we was growing up. Mm-hmm. So
now that's another question. All right. You know, we grew up with a lot of this stuff, but why hasn't anything changed? Because I don't think anybody applied anything.
You know why I don't think a lot of stuff has changed? And again, it start with individuals, but at the same time, I think the stuff that is out here has been made, it's been enhanced, it's been made more powerful, it's stronger. So the more stuff you have to combat and deal with it's increased too.
Nah, you're right, because the social media did that. Social media, we didn't realize how strong it is. Mm-hmm. That's what we didn't realize, because like you said, we didn't see most of the stuff that was going on right here in Omaha, Nebraska. We ain't seen what was going on over there, but we could see it like that in like 3 minutes as soon as they upload it. So I understand what you're saying about that. You're right, and it is enhanced, because then, you know, the internet gives you a perspective where you could pick your own lifestyle if you want it, if you look at it.
With what you want to view and how you're viewed.
Right. And yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And then you fall into a category of people. So
socially.
Exactly. Socially. So it's almost like to even get people to get back together to form a unity is almost like it's almost 90. We'll say like an 80% chance that it probably won't happen, because everybody got freedom of choice right now. They don't stand on no standards, on no rules, on no morals, because you can make your own rules right now. Mm-hmm. If you look at it, nobody ain't gonna have no rules.
But see, you know, I think by default, with the way that the universe worked, that shit done became so crazy with everyday life that everybody has to figure out something. So everybody kind of at some point has to go back and figure out who they are and what they're doing, right?
Right.
So I feel like it's kind of it's a lot of different ways to do that shit. But if you really want to like be intentional, you can use certain things. You can use like astrology and a form of spirituality, and like even if you believe in a religion, right? Mm-hmm. Even if you believe in a religion, you could still look at the religion and what you may be studying as a way to help yourself. That's why I don't necessarily look at people who have certain religions. Like, I don't look at them and like judge nobody because they believe in what they believe in.
No.
Like, I just know that they can utilize that stuff for what's good for them and make them a better person.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. And then one thing that's good about religion, people, we don't never say this, but some religions allow structure in people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It allows something structural to have to fall back on as a background.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people that don't have structure, probably like me, for example. You know what I'm saying? I don't know no religion, ethnicity. I don't do that. So, but that still stops like the structure part in me in certain aspects.
Mm-hmm.
But because I can structure myself to do what I want to do, but it might be an outline general rule that I should have for myself that could have came from a religious background that I should be applying every day. You know what I'm saying? Even like if it's something small, like respect for your fellow man and your woman. You know what I'm saying? That's just something small, but I do that naturally, but some people don't do that naturally.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Some people have that complex where they got to be the person on top all the time. And it's cool. I mean, you want to be seen. That's good. That's a good thing. I mean.
Or even being like being on top. Being on top could be like having a conversation with somebody and being right or wrong. Like, we done did this stuff outside of like when we're interacting and shit like that.
Definitely.
Being right or being wrong. Being right or being wrong is kind of like here or there when you like trying to interact with somebody. When you interacting with somebody, it's more so about understanding. Once you understand, then it ain't really about none of that shit. Like, whether you agree or disagree with whatever, you understand.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. Because it's all a perspective anyway of the other person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I be just trying to figure out, because, I really don't know nothing about that Kyrie situation. So I be trying to figure out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear, when I hear what he say, I understand what he's saying, but why do they punish them all the time for that? And see, now it's seeming like a control thing with me. Like, even with Kanye, Kanye did go out for a little too hard, I think. But I ain't going to say too hard, but, he did say what he said. It's all good. But I don't think it was that derogatory for you to take all his contracts. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like he don't got control of his own money, man. Like, what you in here making money in the USA if you can't control your own money? What you think about that?
I think it's different stuff that is going on. It's a lot of different things that's going on, like a lot of moving parts. Like, within the industry. Like, when we talk about specific industries, you have certain influence, you have certain power, and you have certain finances. So, depending on the level of these within the industry that we talking about,
Right.
then we're gonna be talking about like the way something is, because you can't be this and think you're gonna like, you can't like the NBA.
Okay.
You can't have the NBA here and this is you. You can't necessarily be you and go into the NBA.
I
feel me?
respect that too.
And I say that because you can't be you and go into the NBA and continue to be you if it doesn't align with the way the NBA wants a person to be.
I agree with you on that. It's almost like this right here. You start a business and you build it up from ground up, and you got 1,000 employees. You gonna let one employee buck on you from the system that you built?
Especially not if it's my business.
Yeah, and so that's why I understand it on the other side too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be being biased of it,
Right.
but
Because it's their business. It's like you went to go apply for a job, and the job is telling you this is what we require, and if you don't do this, then we're gonna do this. So you knew what you was going into, getting into this.
Right. You knew what you signing up for. Pretty much is what you're saying. You knew what he was signing up for. And that's why I said, and I understand him getting his point across, man. I understand that. And we need to have, it's because, when we have the platform, we want to just help our people, man. But sometimes it kind of backfires on us in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. Even with him doing that, this, that, and third, black people ain't running behind to try to go support, Kyrie. Yeah, they'll do a post about you, but they ain't running around here marching nothing about you. You see what I'm saying? That's why that's the thing with black people, bro. Like, they'll let you go out there and hang yourself, but they ain't about to go doing no protesting, no marching, or nothing for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not going to do it. So sometimes you have to think about the things before you do it. Even me, I had to think about things before I do it. Like, man, I can't, it ain't that you a bitch ass nigga or you a, sellout or nothing like that. You knew when you signed up for this job had rules. This is not your company. It's not even your company. So you have to, and I don't like to say it either because, I'm a rebellious person when it came to companies. This is how I found out that it's not good.
Me too. So I understand exactly what Kyrie going through and how he reacting and responding.
Yeah, I respect Kyrie regardless of whatever happened, bro. I respect him wholly as standing up for himself, period.
Right. I don't think he's right or wrong for none of the stuff that he doing. I think it's just what he doing, and it's like.
But it's business, bro. Like, you have to step out of people. When you sign up in another person's company, man, you can't tell them how to run their business. That's how I feel about anything.
Or go make your own company.
Exactly. But now that comes into, okay, why we don't own our own leagues? What you think is the problem with that?
Because I'm thinking about like 3 or 4 different answers that could take me down like different roads.
Okay, what's the main one you think you can go down?
Regardless of what you make, you're still inside of something. It's not gonna matter in the sense of you making something inside of something. You have to make something. You have to make something. If you understand that, you understand that. You have to make something. You can't make something inside of something because it's still that. Like, for instance, if you was to go make your own league, you're still gonna have to pay taxes. You're still inside of this. It's like a game.
Right.
Like, you can't get outside of this game. And I feel like this is kind of like a whole nother discussion when you start talking about that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
I'm gonna keep it real. If it was my opinion, this is what I say. Right. This is why I think you can't do another league, because you got to mimic the rules and everything that comes from that league. Mm-hmm. So how can you create another one?
Especially with the way that they have their league. And I'm not saying that it's impossible. It would take so much time because of how trained people's minds are. Like, people are so used to the NBA. This is the standard for basketball. When people think about basketball, people think of like the NBA. If my son plays basketball, I want him to go to the NBA.
I ain't never seen an overseas game in my life.
Right. Like, nobody ain't interested in looking at overseas basketball. Not over here.
Right.
So
it ain't that they ain't interested. They just say it's not an opportunity for them to see it.
That too.
Because I just if I had a channel, I would definitely watch it. Cause Marbury, what his name is, Starberry, whatever his damn name is.
Stephon Marbury.
Yeah, my damn boy.
Nigga said Star Marbury.
I'm talking about, bro. We're gonna mess this all the way up. So
that
look,
nigga got a lot of stars here with him.
Hey, Star.
That nigga got a star. Ain't got a star like Birdman.
Hey, look, but I would have liked to see him. Excuse me. I would have liked to see him play against some Chinese people just to see how good he was against them people. You know what I'm saying? So if I had the opportunity, I would have watched it.
Right.
But still, like when you talking about stepping outside of the in a NBA, right, to create another basketball league, you still have to base your rules of your league off of theirs. The standard, you know what I'm saying? Just think about it. You have to base at least the standard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
2 goals.
It's the example. It's the example of what was before you for you to even make what you even making.
Okay, so how many replica leagues done came and gone?
A few.
Yeah, so that's how you know that's not a good idea. That's how I look at it. You have to create something unique. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to do that. Like I don't think you can reinvent the wheel. So like when a lot of people say that we need to start our own leagues and different this, that, and the third. If you gotta govern yourself off the league that you come from, then we're not making nothing new.
I got a question.
All right.
Why do you think sports, like athletes, why do you think athletes get paid more than like doctors?
Damn, that's a good question. I think because they're more influential. If I had to guess, I would say because they're more influential. And kids, when kids look at everything, they look at anybody. I ain't gonna even say kids. We gonna say adults. Everybody look at everything surface level. What they see on their phone, what they see in the vision of their eyes that they want to be. Most people don't run around here be a doctor because the doctor ain't really known. They ain't really popular.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They have to do a lot of studying. They have to really get down in their books to even become that. A lot of these kids don't want to do that. They want some fast money. You know what I mean? But it's because of the social media. But which is cool. It's just that you got to pick your poison. Everybody has to. You can't want to be a hot girl and then want to be a dentist at the same time. You know what I'm saying? You got to pick what you're gonna do.
I know some hot dentists.
I forgot. You a player,
But
man. You're a real player.
No. Like, so I mean, it just kind of just make. These are the kind of things that I do, man. Like, I feel like you have to ask questions, and asking questions just make you ask more questions. The more questions you ask, the more answers you're gonna get.
That's a part of life you learning. Like you're supposed to continue to learn.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that's a good thing. Me personally, I don't want to be an old dummy.
I know some old dummies too.
Man, I'm talking about I know some old retarded dummies. Like I do not want to be that. So I'll ask, man. I'm gonna ask you to elaborate on a lot of stuff outside of this. So if I don't understand it, boy, I want to know the meaning of it.
Right.
But and that's another thing. I'm glad we were talking about that because a lot of people get a pride in their way when they can learn something from somebody, and then what they'll do is because of who is the person in front of them telling them the information, they might not receive the information from that person that's coming in front of them. But think about if there was just one of these people that some fly by night. Nah, I ain't gonna say fly by night. I'll just say your cousin or something outside of me and you talking. And he said the same direct thing that I say, and you agree with it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's like people don't want to receive the information from certain people. They'd rather receive it from another person, which is weird to me, but that's something that I know I done went through often.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that I be questioning about people. Why would you do something like that? Or how does that work anyway in your mind?
I think it's like familiarity.
You're right. It might have to, I can see what you're saying, because if I might have
Like
said it to you.
familiarity, and then, it's like person to person. Mm-hmm. Like, I know, again, because it's like some people do that, and then some people don't do that. So it's kind of like, what are things that make different people comfortable and uncomfortable, and then how do they take on constructive criticism? All that, it's just a bunch of different things that may play a part in like that kind of stuff happening, but it's still like self stuff that is going on. Like all these kind of things are stuff that everybody has to go back within they self and figure out.
Yeah, you got to do a deep checking on yourself if you want to advance in yourself. I even had to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I learned lately was just, like, you shouldn't expect nothing out of nobody. If you say something or you do something for somebody, you shouldn't expect nothing back. You know what I'm saying? You should be doing that just for your kindness. No matter how long you don't know this person, no matter how long you did this, you should still do that shit with no feelings attached. Even if you expect this nigga to do anything, you don't do that because you end up disappointing yourself more than anybody because you felt that way. They didn't feel that way. You felt that way. So the main thing is when you do anything or for anybody that does anything with people, business, personal life, kids, anything, you have to have that, how should I say it? You need to let a person live their life and not expect them to do anything that you would do because they're not living through your eyes. They're living through their eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you shouldn't be mad about them living through their eyes. But only thing that I say is a collective unit of people. I watched this video about Black Wall Street, and I'm like, damn, why in all these years we couldn't get back to that point in life? That was just something that I wanted to know. Because it's like, damn, if that was going on, and this is before, I think it was called Greenwood. Greenwood, before Oklahoma was even established as a state, they was doing this.
It was a movie, ain't it?
Yeah, well, this was a documentary that I seen. And
I think they got a movie called Greenwood.
Oh, really? I need to go see that. Not that one with that big black nigga on there.
I think so.
I mean, that shit don't count. That's some old slave shit. Fuck that shit. I was talking about
the slave movies though.
Man, I hate them shits. Them shits so out of there. But this one was about. They said the guy's name, but the guy helped build the foundation for Black Wall Street, and it was based in Oklahoma. And when I'm looking through the video, because it was a little video I seen, and I was like, damn, okay, why in all these years, all these people that we got to know that got money, why haven't we got back to that little point yet in life?
See, it again, I think it kind of goes back to, see, that's a level. It's a level. It's like levels to this shit. So like Oklahoma, like Black Wall Street, right? Mm-hmm. Black and I'm not familiar with all the details of Black Wall Street, right?
Right.
But it's still something within something. You know what I'm saying? So you can have that, right? But how will you combat for an army, bombs, missiles? This is why it ain't a Black Wall Street no more. Mm-hmm. A bomb got dropped on that motherfucker. So you don't have control over the things that really matter. So like when you talking about power and influence, the power and influence that black people have is through like personas and ways of life, not necessarily intricacies of finances, building.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that really matters with life. Well, you know what I'm saying? It's like a clown show almost.
Yeah, right now I definitely agree. It's definitely a clown show right now. But when I think about what you say with Wall Street, right? Mm-hmm. You said you had a real valid point about we don't have an army, pretty much, because you said they dropped a fucking bomb on us. You can't defend nothing if you ain't got no guns.
When it's time to inflict your will,
yeah,
how will you do it?
You was right. That was a damn good point.
Defend yourself.
No, you made a damn good point with that. So that's what probably should have been the actual element that they left out of that. You know what I'm saying? Because if they at least had a way to fight back, then they probably could have kept it. But and then that's the other thing, man. If you're on the same land, man, why we beefing about some damn money? That's crazy to me. Like,
Talking about black people with each other.
no, I'm just talking about like, cause you want to. Come on, man. You know we niggas. You want to blame it on somebody. So you want to blame it on the white people for dropping the damn bomb on the niggas. So you want to blame it. So you might as well go ahead and blame them. Right. But what I'm saying is, we didn't build the structure based off of that element. Like, okay, you built like, cause they had grocery stores, hospitals, they had schools, they had nightclubs, they had like their own their own way to generate their money. Mm-hmm. But like you said, you didn't have a way to defend yourself.
Right.
So that was probably the element. If we would have had that involved, we probably could have kept it for a little while, even if it was a small. Because small countries defend themselves. Some people get taken over, but at least you had a chance to defend yourself.
Right. And it's like fear. Like love, the aspect of Black Wall Street created so much love with black people, right? Mm-hmm. But then it's the fear aspect. The fear is just as powerful as the love. Mm-hmm. So this is where you have that element of it with why it's not a Black Wall Street.
Yeah. Yeah, cause I mean you can't have one without the other. You can't even live life without one out of the other. You gotta have fear, love, plus minus. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have one without the other. So, but like you said, if they had a way to defend themselves, then it gives you an added element because you gotta have that balance in anything. You ain't gonna have all positivity in your life. It's just not gonna work. And if you do, it's probably gonna be a real tragic death. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have that balance of all that in your life. So, but the thing that I didn't think about when I watched that video is exactly what you said. They didn't have no army. And they probably didn't have a lot of people, but still, you should have had an army.
See, and maybe they didn't even want to think about it. With so much love being, see, that's what I'm saying. You can't really be so far into love. Like, love is cool, but then this is how you combat the fear aspect. Mm-hmm. Knowledge. Mm-hmm. When you know something, you're less like, because fear is kind of just based off of not knowing. So if you know,
unknown.
You got to know. The unknown and the known.
Right.
The polar opposites.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. But that's why they had too much positivity going on. So they didn't have enough balance to keep it going. That's really the reason. If you had to break it down, that's what I think. Because that made sense what you said. I just didn't even think about it like that when I watched the video earlier.
Now we got a different type of imbalance going on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, way out of balance. I don't even want to go into nothing about.
Yeah, because that's kind of like a whole different episode, a whole different show.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I just know one thing though, man. If you start checking yourself first, then you can move forward to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Right. Even how you conceive life sometimes. Like you have to look at it like everything is what it is. You know what I mean? Instead of just being like, oh, you should have did this because that's what I thought you should have did. No. You know what I'm saying? Just take it for what it is and process it the way you process it and leave it alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and always come back to self.
Exactly.
You always got to figure out what you should do to make stuff better, not looking at other people on how to make stuff better.
Exactly. Because it's a lot of, man, I'm telling you, man, that's the problem really black people have, bro. A lot of the blame game. Mm-hmm. It's always the blame game. Like, just take Black Lives Matter, for example, bro. Okay. Yeah, we did see that what happened to George Floyd, and I don't even, I'm not even, that's just a subject I don't even want to touch on. But, like, that made people come together, right? Mm-hmm. To do what? Like, from what I see,
the same thing over and over.
Yeah, man. Like, that's the thing. Like, bro, like, okay, y'all went and painted the road up there in D.C. or whatever the hell that shit was at. Man, what did that do? Nothing. You know what I mean? Like, That be the problem right there, bro. That be the problem. Like, why keep riling yourself up to do nothing? That be the problem, man. Just don't do that.
Again, we in a different time, man. We gotta start thinking different, start doing different stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's how we need to in this one and do that. Like again, like the self-realization, like the self-evaluation, self-realization and self-evaluation. All this stuff got to start with self with everybody.
Definitely. I definitely start with myself, man. That's why I don't really kick it around a lot of people. And it's not that I don't. It's really just because, I do a lot of critiquing of myself. So I want to know, even when I'm in front of somebody, I want to be respectful. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to have a respectful conversation and engage like we humans. Most of the time, I shoot the shit. I'm a real silly nigga. That's what I do. But you talking about just around this motherfucker just getting aggressive and if you don't like what I got, then, on that trying to be the top dog ass nigga. Like, I know I can refer back to that top dog a lot because I went through that a lot in life. So I know, like, that mentality of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be seen, you got to be heard in front of everybody. But then what you talking about is nothing. Totally nothing. It stands for nothing. It has no substance. So what do you want? If you gonna be the leader of something, man, at least have some substance or something to fucking talk about. You know what I mean? Or just have anything to talk about, or anything that help improve somebody. If you around here just trying to show off your car and your chain, bro, eventually you gonna get your head bust.
Yeah, be the best at it,
man.
Hey, tell the people where they can find you at, man.
Oh man, you can find me at Germ Life on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. My name Jeremy Spencer, the same thing. Yeah, refer back to it. And what way they can find you at, bro?
I'm on Instagram, man. That's where I'm interacting with people right now until things change. 29_KAP. KAP.
So what does 29 stand for? Like, what that represents?
We're gonna get into it.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
If you know, you know. But if not, we'll get into it. We got plenty more episodes to get into.
Yeah, man. Shouts out to who else? What's the studio name?
GOT.
Oh, shouts out to GOT Studios. For showing love, letting us record right here. You know what I mean? About to crank it up a little bit more.
Yeah. Much love.
Much love.
Not
we
too
out.
much love because shit might need to go to war too. Shit.
Yep.
So keep a balance of both, man.
Telling you, keep a balance of both, man. Telling you.
Yeah, man.
So we really appreciate y'all time, man. Peace.